I voted for would be the best to take care of Trump. Because Trump is, I'm sorry to say, an ass. And he shouldn't even be president of the United States. But because he is, we need a strong person so that we can stand strong.
Apparently, most Canadian voters agree with that iconic woman that CNN interviewed yesterday, because Mark Carney and the Liberal Party came from behind to defeat conservative Pierre Poilievre in Canada's election yesterday. Just months ago, the Liberal Party was in terrible shape, and all signs pointed to a conservative victory after Justin Trudeau's ouster. You could see that here. The Liberals were 20 to 30 percentage points behind in surveys conducted in January, before taking the lead in mid-March. But thanks in large part to Trump's attacks on Canada, including his threats to make Canada the 51st state, and his tariff policies, the Liberals managed to turn it around. Mark Carney, a former banker, focused heavily on Donald Trump in his campaign and doubled down on that message of what he calls, quote, American betrayal during his victory speech last night. Take a look.
As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen. We are once again at one of those hinge moments of history. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over. The system of open global trade anchored by the United States, a system that Canada has relied on since the Second World War, a system that, while not perfect, has helped deliver prosperity for a country for decades, is over.
Despite the victory, Liberals still face major challenges because elections work a little different in Canada relative to the US. Voters don't cast a ballot for a prime minister in the same way we vote for a president, for instance. Instead, the party that wins the most seats in parliament typically forms a government, and its leader becomes the prime minister. As of right now, with 99% of the results in, Carney's Liberals are leading with 168 seats to Conservatives' 144. But the Liberals would need 172 to capture a majority in Parliament. Without the majority, Carney will need the support of a smaller party in Parliament to implement his agenda. For Pierre Poilievre, who adopted the Trump-inspired slogan, quote, Canada first, yesterday's elections didn't just mean he won't become prime minister, he also lost his seat in the House of Commons. You can see the results here. Ousted by Bruce Fanjoy, Liberal, by 5 points. The Liberal candidate, Bruce Fanjoy, a community volunteer who was initially considered a long shot, won the race with 51% of the vote share. So, Jank, it's not just that Conservatives don't form the government now. Pierre Poilievre is gone. He seemed poised for the last couple of years to become prime minister. What do you make of these results?
All right, I'm gonna give first word to one of our members on Twitch. SICP44 wrote in, the blue wave starts with a red maple leaf. Let's go. So that blue wave started very early, but it's true across the world. And Jordan, that goes to answering your question. It's unprecedented the amount of damage that Donald Trump has done to conservatives worldwide in 100 days. So as I teased in the beginning of the show, we're gonna tell you a little bit later, and obviously watch the show every day live, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, catch all of it. We're gonna tell you a little bit later about a disastrous poll for Trump. So now he's gotta do a major comeback, and the Republicans have to do a major comeback, even though the elections for midterms is over a year and a half from now. They're in such a big hole here in America. But look at this stunning results in Canada. He turned around 25 points just by being flagrantly in favor of conservatives. The people of Canada were like, ugh, we don't want that. So we want somebody to fight against this guy. And I mean, for the liberals in Canada and for the left overall in the world, in a lot of ways, Trump's a huge gift. I mean, he's a disaster here at home with all of his authoritarian tendencies, but he's uniting there's so many upsides and downsides. The upside is he's hurting the right wing all across the world. Their chances of winning, their chances of getting power. And he seems weirdly gleeful about it because he's a child. He doesn't know the consequences of his actions. He just likes to play with things and own things and smash things. And so he just smashed Canada's Conservative Party, not their Liberal Party. He just smashed the living crap out of their Conservative Party in a tiny window of time, in 1 to 2 months. Moving 25 points is unbelievable. And you saw it not just in the overall election, but you saw it even with the Conservative leader's own race, where he lost his own race. And you saw that there was a 25-point swing in that race and loses to someone who was not well known before. So that woman that we showed you at the top, I mean, number one, she's already gone viral. And she's gone viral because she's so perfectly Canadian, right? She says, "I'm sorry," before calling Trump an a-hole, right? But like what folks are saying online is, even like Trump's such a jerk that he's even gotten the Canadians to be impolite, right? And they were very, very impolite to the right wing in Canada. So this is what I keep emphasizing. I don't know if anyone will care. I mean, it's like, it's hard to get anybody on either side to listen to sense. But if you're a right winger, you should be more mad at Trump. Like, how does it help you to destroy conservatives all across the world by making conservatism seem not rational and sane and sensible and the thing that helps the economy and the thing that helps safety, like the type of brand that they want to build for conservatives throughout the world? Instead, he's now made the brand wannabe authoritarians will trample on whatever laws and customs and rules and constitutions that you have. So watch out, if you elect a guy like Trump, he might try to destroy your country. And now the other downside for us here in America is, and unite the world against us. I mean, look at what he's saying there, the new prime minister. He's saying that, no, that's it, we're done with America. Like this alliance, it's too, a Democrat gets in, we're on good terms. Trump gets in, all of a sudden we're the enemy, or he's gonna invade us, or he's gonna make us a state. So it's extremism when he doesn't, follow the court orders and the Constitution, et cetera, at home. But it's extremism abroad with the tariffs that were so gigantic and so global that they united the world against us. But on top of everything else, when he gratuitously, for no reason, nothing productive at all, attacks allies, well, then allies go, as this prime minister is, saying, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go to European Union, I'm gonna have to go to others in the world to find allies, both politically and economically, and we're all gonna have to unite to work around America. Now, how did that help us? And if you're a right winger out there, you're like, no, Trump is my God, and it's this clever strategy. All right, keep stretching, as my English teacher used to say when I used to try to come up with outlandish metaphors. Stretch, you're stretching, Uger, okay? So in this case, they're like, no, Trump meant it, because if they elect a liberal instead of a conservative, then Canada will become weaker, and then it'll be easier for us to take them over. Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, oh yeah, and Dr. Evil has a great plan with sharks with laser beams on their heads. But in the rational world, this doesn't help America, and it definitely doesn't help conservatives across the world or here in America. So you keep playing these games and see how it turns out. So, I mean, we originally named Damage Report for every morning, at least here on the West Coast, John would get up in the first Trump term and tell you the damage report. And so check him out at 10 a.m. West Coast, 1 o'clock East Coast when he's live on YouTube, Damage Report. Because yeah, you're gonna need a damage report every morning. And at this point, conservatives are gonna need one more than the rest of us.
What's so interesting to me about this, you talk about the global implications of Trump and his brand of kind of that hollow right-wing populism. You've seen other world leaders try to emulate that style, some to some success or varying success, but others, it's totally backfired for them. And that's what's so interesting to me here about Poilievre. He was down to even cribbing the slogans, Canada first. And for a while it was working. But when reminded of what a Trump administration looks like, maybe it's recency bias, but also people just don't have long-term memories, short attention spans. He was poised again to be prime minister over the past couple of years. And then you just look at that data that we showed you at the top of the story. It's remarkable. Part of that also seems to be NDP or potential NDP voters coalescing behind liberals just to make sure that conservatives cannot form a government there, just to ensure that Poilievre is not their prime minister. And Jagmeet Singh has led NDP, which is more of like the left-wing party in Canada, despite there are many criticisms from progressives and lefties in Canada about NDP, but still, he's resigning now as the leader because they suffered such a quote crushing defeat and they lost several seats. Kind of feel bad for him. Seems like a little bit of a wrong place at the wrong time thing because they needed to coalesce around these liberal candidates to make sure that Poilievre remained out of the prime minister's seat. But still, despite that, Trump is relishing in the fact that he caused this. In an interview with The Atlantic that published yesterday, he said, until I came along, remember that the conservative was leading by 25 points. And The Atlantic reporter Ashley Parker said, it's true. Trump then said, then I was disliked by enough of the Canadians that I've thrown the election into a close call, right? I don't even know if it's a close call, but the conservative, they didn't like Governor Trudeau too much, and I would call him Governor Trudeau, but he wasn't fond of that. And he also doubled down on his vision for Canada. Atlantic reporter Jeffrey Goldberg, you seriously want them to become a state? Trump, I think it would be great. Do you want an ally here? Because now you've got someone who's going to offer stiff opposition in Mark Carney. And while he's not the progressive or lefty candidate or figure that some people might want, he seems well equipped to take on Trump, especially on issues of trade. Cenk, what do you think of Trump relishing in the fact that he caused the conservatives to lose?
I get it. Here's why he thinks that way, which makes no sense to other human beings who tend to be a little bit more rational. He thinks me. I make difference. I smash and then it gets smashed. Me make difference. The whole world talk about me. Trump. And that's the only thing he cares about. If you said to him, hey, you're not relevant in the Canadian elections, but your allies win, or you're super relevant and everyone is talking about you and you caused your allies to lose, that's a no-brainer for him. We'd be like, oh yeah, talk about me and now my allies lose. Why do I care about my allies? What do I need allies in Canada for? Okay, and are they giving me money like my allies in Saudi Arabia and Israel and all these other places? No, they're not giving me, okay, then they're no allies of mine. Who cares? Me, Trump. So listen, he named 3 casinos in the same city, Atlantic City, after himself. And everybody said, you're gonna cannibalize those casinos. He's like, I know. One of his executives literally said, it's because he liked to see his name all over the city. Trump, right? And then you know what happened? Bankrupt. And so that's what he's doing to his allies now. They're all closed down for business because this buffoon got involved. So, hey, keep going that way. Well, again, I'm obsessed with the woman that we showed you in the beginning. She's like the new Queen of Canada, Slay Queen, okay? So, but the real slayer here, the conservative slayer, is Donald J. Trump. So everybody's in their own bubbles and you could all pretend anything you like, but elections are real and they have consequences. The thing I'm worried about is what we asked about in the poll on the live chat. So we asked, will America's relationship with Canada ever be repaired? And look, my instinct and great desire is that yes, it can be repaired and it should be repaired. I mean, come on. I mean, God, I can't get over it because how do you piss off Canada? How do you make an enemy out of Canada? I mean, they make Switzerland look hostile. and somehow you managed to get them to all hate you. I'm not sure a Canadian has ever hated anything before. And now they hate Trump, but I'm also worried they hate us. And the thing that really resonated with me in a way that's unfortunate, and I'm glad you guys are optimistic that it can be repaired. And I love that optimism and I share that. Be part of the show live every day. But I'm worried about what he said, that, hey, we can't rely on America anymore because it swings back and forth too much. And every once in a while, you guys are like the madman, right? I'm worried about that. We've got to get back to stability. We can do populism. We can do the right kind of populism that actually delivers for the average American without making enemies of the whole world. That's gratuitous. There's no need for it. Without destroying our own constitution and our own alliances. There's no need for it. I don't know why, if you're a populist, you would want that in any way, shape, or form other than weirdo aggro hostility. So here we are, and that aggro hostility boomerang back on conservatives and cost them leadership in Canada. So I'm glad it did. And to our friends in Canada, don't worry. Most of us in America still love you. You're our brothers and sisters. We're gonna get back together. Just give us 3 3/4 of a year. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.